So we're back again, Frances.
We are indeed.
This is a very important day, special day for you.
It is, not easy,
Not
but it is
easy.
an important part of the process.
But yes, and it's important really that we share this message, because this is part of the story that really goes untold quite a bit.
It is, and it's a difficult thing for any livestock keeper or animal owner to deal with the end of an animal's life. And it's important that we do this responsibly and respectfully for the animal, and with as minimal stress as possible.
So today we're back at the Downland Scheme where you saw us before, but you've brought the Dexters into this little holding pen, I suppose.
Yes, yeah.
And we've got the trailer which has come in, and of course as soon as that came up, they all knew something was going to happen.
Yeah, we transport our cows only local distances to either for little shows or to the conservation grazing site. So they're used to small, short journeys.
Right.
So when they see the trailer, they get very excited.
Yes.
Or if we bring the bull in, they think that's exciting. So
Yes.
anytime they see the trailer, they do start to get excited.
Thank you. And that's quite important that they're used to the travel, isn't it, I guess, because on this journey, it's not something that's going to stress them out too much.
Exactly. I make sure that it is done very calmly, and I put a lot of effort, as you've seen, into caring for my cows to make sure that they're well handleable, and it all makes that journey to the end and at the abattoir much more stress-free for them if they're used to travelling. I only do short journeys, and I make sure they're loaded and unloaded very carefully and gently.
Now you're going to an abattoir, and understandably we're not going to be filming in the abattoir. It's a small abattoir, and they're quite vital really for your sort of farming.
He has a lot to say about
Yes.
it. Yes, there is. It's very important to have that, the trust in the abattoir and the relationship with them, and for it to be local.
Yes.
And when I worked at Goodwood before I had ME, I was responsible for coordinating all of their meat sales business, and I went to the abattoir and I watched an animal go through. It wasn't easy, but it was important to know how it was handled, and the way it was done, that the animal welfare standard is really high.
Yes.
And they have consideration for the animal.
I guess this is, as we said before, part of the journey that people don't think about, but this is very much the reason for having the Dexter cows in the first place, because, or any cows, we wouldn't have them if ultimately we were going to eat them.
That's very true. The enjoyable part of having the animals is seeing them all happy in the field, but if we didn't eat meat, we wouldn't, and the general public wouldn't enjoy having livestock and these beautiful creatures in the countryside.
Yes.
So it is an important part. My late sister was a vet, and she helped a lot of animals in the south and dogs abroad, and she campaigned a lot for better animal welfare. And interestingly, she was a vegetarian, but we both respected and supported each other in our lifestyle choices and in our views. And I think it's okay to be a vegetarian or a vegan, but as a meat eater, it's our responsibility to know where our food has come from and know that the animal has been cared for.
Yes.
And I do care for my animals a huge amount, and I find this end really difficult,
Yes.
which is also heightened by my health conditions. I already feel, just in organising today, that I've run around a marathon and my body is in considerable pain, and it will take me a long time to get over this. And it might be easier if I just said, let somebody else do this end part, it's too hard.
Yes.
But I have a duty to my animals to look after them, so I do have to do this end part, and it isn't easy. And today is harder as well, because most animals go for beef when they are under 3 years old. But we've got 3 going today, 2 young ones, and one is my old lady, who has given me 16 years of good life, 13 lovely calves, many of which I've got in the herd, bred good temperament. And I noticed that this winter she started to lose it was a difficult winter, and she started to lose her matriarch status and wasn't in calf. So I have that difficult decision of, what do I do with the animal at the end of its life?
Yes, of course.
Now I could retire her And then at the moment she's mobile and she's healthy. I could retire her and then she would be, let her live out her days until she was ill or lame, and then I would have to euthanize her. Or I put her into the cull cow market. And for me, because I've cared for the animal for such a long time, she's been a really good cow in my herd, I want to respect her. And for those that know me and how difficult this decision has been, contemplating this year, I'm going to have her back for my own beef because I feel that's the most respectful thing to do for her.
I can sense from you already, but that's a very honourable thing for the owner and keeper of the animals to actually face up to that, because I imagine in an industrial scale nothing like that ever happens.
No, not at all. And I do this on a very small scale, so I have such a close involvement with them that I feel that this end part is something that I can do for them. However difficult it is, I do it for them and I do it for them well.
Mind that camera.
What I've done this summer is given her a really lovely summer last summer, and she's had it over at the Sussex Wildlife Trust Woods Mill Reserve, which coincidentally they feature in your film when you made a visit there.
They did, yes, when we had a quick visit, yes, absolutely.
So she's had a really lovely summer, and I do not want to put her through another winter, so it's the right time.
Right.
And because I want to do it properly, I'm not going to send her on her own, because animal welfare is paramount importance. So I want to make sure she's got her companions to go with, who have been grazing with her, and do the end as kindly as possible.
Now, you are not on your own in this process, fortunately. You do have your husband, who's now backtracking away, to assist you, and a gentleman over there I've not actually been introduced to, but he's also part of your network.
I couldn't do this cattle enterprise because of my own health issues, without the support of my husband Simon, with all the physical work and the driving, and also without the help of the lookerers who check on my cattle daily for the ones that aren't at home, and Gerard is one of the lookerers that's here.
Right, oh,
so without their support in doing this bit, I couldn't operate.
The abattoir is a very important role. They're on the decline.
They are. We are lucky in the south that I've got one that's only a few minutes away, and then two further afield, but only about an hour's distance. Upland farmers don't have that luxury, and there has been a decline in the number of abattoirs. I think there was 30,000 abattoirs across the UK in 1930, and now there's less than 250.
Oh my goodness!
Today,
wow!
And only 50 of those are small.
Right.
And I am so lucky that I have a small local abattoir. If that closed and I didn't have that facility, then I would cease farming, and that has a knock-on effect to all the good conservation work that the Dexters do for the environment and the wider community. So it's important that we keep all those local enterprises going. And the other part in that chain is for the consumer to buy responsibly, and there is increasing interest in sustainable and ethical food procurement, and it is important in the whole to keep environmental sustainability and the farming community going, that we have the link between the livestock keeper, myself, the small local abattoir, the ethical butcher and the consumer.
Well, as I said at the beginning, this is a very difficult and important day for you, and just looking around, there's nobody stressed. I mean, apart from yourself,
yes.
The animals, the Dexters are not stressed, and that's incredible.
Yeah.
And so I better let you get on with this, and I wish you well.
Thank you.
As does, I know, my viewers. And we will follow up the story with this and keep following the herd over the next months, find out about the winter, the overwintering, and then maybe at some point
and the joyful part of calves.
Of calves,
and spring.
Exactly. But in the meantime, thank you so much. This has been really interesting and enlightening as well. So good luck and bye-bye.
Okay, thank you very much.